Tadavaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivadi Gaura Bhakta Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakambidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikakanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivadadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Nama Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kolam Nastyeva Vergattaranyata Jaiti Jaiti Namanandarupam Murare Vinamitam Nijadharma Dhyana Pujadiyatam Katamapi Sakridatam Muktinam Prananam Yat Paramamritam Ekanam Jivanam Dushanam Me Madhuram Marudebhyopi Mangalebhyopi Mangalam Pavanam Pavanebhyopi Harem Namae Svakehivanam. I'm so reading from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. So he's explaining about the process of devotional service from Shraddha to Prem. So we must have faith in the process, and then we must associate with the sadhus, sadhu sangha. In the association of the sadhus, then one is able to engage in devotional activities, vajra kriya, and the faith becomes more strong. And then the process of purification is there. Anatta nivritti. So unwanted things are there in the heart, impurities are there. But by performing devotional service under the instruction of the spiritual master, so the impurities are cleansed, the unwanted things are removed, and then one becomes quite fixed in devotional service. Nishta. And then one can steadily advance, and then one will get a taste for performing devotional activities. So ruchi will be there. Nam Ruchi, taste for chanting holy names. Seva Ruchi, taste for performing devotional service. And so the purification is going on. And the more one becomes purified, so the more one will understand everything very clearly, the more one will be blissful. So, but the process of purification is very long, and it goes up to highest stage. Even when we are firmly attached to Krishna's Shakti, and quite detached from this material world, still some matters may be there, although not much. So while performing devotional service, one has to clearly know what is the goal. And that has been explained also in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Paru Goswami, that has been discussed. So the process of devotional service, Sarana Bhakti, is there. And so one should know what is the sadhya, what is the goal. So the goal, of course, has been also explained right in the beginning, from the first verse of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Akila Rasamrita Murti Prasimara Ruchi Ruda Tarakapali Kvalito Lalito Shyama Radha Prayan Vidur Jayati. So Vidur Jayati, all glories to the moon. So that refers to Krishna, Krishna Chanta. Akila Rasamrita Murti, so is the embodiment of all transcendental mellows. So the different relationships are there with the Supreme Lord. But here, so it is indicated in this verse, so that so the different relationships are there. And then, but specifically is pointing out to the gopis, Tarakapali, Lalita, and Shyama, and Srimati Radharani. Just hinting that actually, ultimately, it is all about Krishna, and Krishna's loving exchange with the gopis. That is known as Adiras, Madhurya Ras, the loving exchange of Krishna with the gopis. That is the original mellow. And everything is actually there to facilitate the wonderful loving exchange of Radha and Krishna. In Braj, everyone is serving Krishna. So that is indicated in the first line of this first verse. Akila Rasamrita Murti. Of course, we can even go further. Because Krishna is the source of all personalities of Godhead. And Srimati Radharani, she is the Mool Shakti, original potency. But then Krishna, although is Atmaram, Aptakam, is self-sufficient, fully satisfied in himself, Atmaram. So he's taking pleasure in his self. Is the source of all bliss, Paramananda. So that is the consideration of the absolute truth. Sar Aishwarya Purna. He's complete. Sar Aishwarya Purna. Purna Purushottam. Purna Param Purush Purna. He's complete and perfect. Om Purnamada Puramidam Purna Padam Mudachyate Purnasi Puramadaya Purameva Vishishyate. So, invocation verse of Sri Upanishad. So that Om, so that refers ultimately to Krishna. Akaruchate Krishna Sarva Kaikanaika Ukaruchate Radha Maka Jiva Vachakaha. So Om refers to Krishna, the only hero, who refers to Srimati Radharani. So again here in Omkar, Om, so Radha Krishna there. So the origin of everything. and Mahakar, so that refers to the Jivas, the eternal associates of the Lord who are engaged in the service of Krishna. So, at the same time also, so that is known as Om is the Pranav, the original sound, and all the Vedic mantras, they start with Om. So there's another bead seed which is there, cling, that also refers to Radha Krishna and their loving exchange. So there are unlimited expansions as explained in the Bhagavatam. Ete chamsa akalapumsam. Krishna's through Bhagavan Sayam, but Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then so Srimati Radharani, she is the Mool Shakti. So unlimited expansions are there of Krishna, Vishnu Murtis. And they all have their eternal associates. And the Gurus of fortune are there. At the side of Vishnu and Narayan. So Mool Shakti, that is Srimati Radharani. And all the Lakshmi Devis, the queens in Dwarka and all the gopis in Braj are expansions ultimately of Srimati Radharani. And all ultimately for the pleasure of Krishna. So in Vaikuntha there is one kind of pleasure with some own reverence which is there. So Krishna is perfect and complete, Sada Aishwarya Purna. So the majestic aspect is there also in Braj, but it is covered by the sweetness. So Krishna is most beautiful, Saundarya. And then, so Krishna is most opulent in Braj actually also. And Krishna is most strong. Krishna is most knowledgeable. Krishna is most famous. And Krishna is most renounced also. So Krishna is perfect, complete in Braj. And all these, his expansions, they are not different from Krishna, different. But they are not as complete as Krishna. So, and it is also mentioned when Krishna appears in this world, he's always residing in Golok in the spiritual world, but he's appearing here also. And then the incarnations of the Lord are included in Krishna. So Krishna's pastimes are Anant, Adbhut, Aishwarya. So they are unlimited, wonderful, and so in this way majestic aspect is there also. But it is covered by the Madhurya, by the sweetness of Braj. And so in Vaikuntha, own reverence is there, and the servants are there, and in Dwarka even also. But Dwarka is more exalted because there's a more intimate relationship with his associates. And so in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, so that is also, of course, slightly mentioned and explained about the associates of Krishna and Dwarka and their moods towards Krishna. So in this way, so Akila Rasamrita Murti, that is a complete form of Krishna and Braj, and everything is included. And all the rasas, the transcendental mellows and relationships and exchanges with his devotees are included. But most wonderful are the loving exchanges of Krishna and Braj. And then especially also, so the 5 relationships are there. Sthai Bhav, permanent relationship. Shantadasya Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya.
This moves too much. Okay.
So, and unlimited associates are there of Krishna and Braj. And that is the biggest realm in the spirit world. in Vaikuntha. And so they all engage in giving pleasure to Krishna, directly or indirectly. And they are all conscious, Satchidananda Swarup. So in Akila Rasamrita Murti, everything is included. But then specifically then the direct relationships are there also, Dasya, servitorship of those serving in Nanda Bhavan, cleaning the house, and there's a Baba there also, although there's not really any need to cut the hair, but still there's a Baba there and trimming a little bit the hair. And then servants Patrak and Raktak who are preparing tambul, the pine leaves in which they have the betel nut and some spices, which Krishna likes very much. But then even more exalted in the relationship, in the loving exchange, are the friends of Krishna. And different kinds of friends are there. So the goal is clearly defined in the first verse. But of course, that has to be explained, and then we can understand. So different friends are there also of Krishna. And then those in Vatsalya, parental affection, Maria Yashoda, Nanda Baba, and the elderly Gopas and Gopis. But then the foremost are the Gopis of Krishna's age, a little younger, Kishori, Kishore and Kishori, Kishoravasta, youth, pre-youth, 14, 15, 12, 13, 14, 15 years of age. And that is giving Krishna the highest pleasure. And that love of the gopis is most exalted. So ultimately it is all about this. Adiras, the loving exchange of Radha and Krishna. And all the other rasas are there, and the service are there, the loving service of all the other associates, and they are supporting ultimately Adiras. So, but Krishna is Kendra Bindu, he's the center of the life of all the Brijavasis. He's the Lord of the life of the Brijavasis, Prananath. So that is our goal, to go to colloque and engage in the transcendent loving service of Krishna. Now the process is there. The process is given. So that is explained here in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, step by step, so that we can, with proper knowledge, execute devotional service, and then we become purified more quickly. But we have to be patient. That is important, because it will take some time to come to the highest stage of, or the highest stage of pure devotional service. So Eastern division is there. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Sindhu, the ocean of Bhakti Ras, of devotional service. Amrita Sindhu, it is an ocean of nectar. And so the devotees are swinging in the ocean of nectar, and they are drinking this nectar. So we have, of course, an idea of the ocean, which is very vast, surrounding this planet, Earth. And so actually in Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu performed his wonderful pastimes, and besides Vrindavan, Braj and Mayapur, so Jagannath Puri is the desired place of visit for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the devotees in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so actually everyone likes to go to the ocean and also have fun in the ocean and swim in the ocean. So, and so it is very pleasurable, and beautiful waves are there at the ocean. But we cannot drink the water of the ocean because it is very salty. But at least you can swim, and it is quite some fun. Even if you don't know how to swim, you can go inside and you can float with the waves which are there. Sometimes smaller waves, sometimes bigger waves. So the devotees are swimming in the ocean of devotional service. And so the different waves are there also, and that is explained. And the different emotions which are there in the lives of the devotees, in the consciousness of the devotees. Of course, in the beginning, the emotions, they are not pure, because one is under modes of material nature, and the emotions are are mixed. But if Krishna is centered, then one becomes purified. And then one can feel the transcendental emotions. And then there's a loving exchange with Krishna. So it is also described here, 33 vyabhichari bhavs, sanchari bhavs, which are coming and going. Even in material life, you can experience, persons can experience that sometimes happiness, sometimes distress, sometimes one is sad, sometimes one becomes angry, one is desiring so many things. So many emotions are there, and they're coming and going constantly. Also in devotional life, these emotions are there, and they're coming and going. So, but in beginning, so these are under the modes of material nature, so it is not pure. But if it is directed towards Krishna, then one becomes purified, and then one can advance in spiritual understanding and consciousness, and then realizations will be there. Practical realization of one's identity, different from this material body. So in the process of devotional service, which has been explained here also, so first Vaidhi Bhakti is there. One has to follow rules and regulations. Of course, first Guru Padasha, one has to take shelter of the spiritual master or an advanced devotee. Usually one should take initiation also. So Diksha, one will have one Diksha Guru, initiating Guru. But most important is actually follow the instructions, Shiksha, which the spiritual master is giving, or advanced devotees are giving, who may be known as Shiksha Guru. So, but Shiksha Guru, usually that means he is an advanced devotee, practically on the level of the Diksha Guru, with the same mood. And then if the Diksha Guru is not available, he has maybe left this world, or maybe is engaged in preaching, and he may have thousands of disciples, and then it may not be easy for all the devotees to have a relationship with the spiritual master and to ask questions and to take guidance. So therefore then one may take shelter of a Shiksha Guru, a devotee who is similarly advanced and with the same mood. So same mood means actually following Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, And then the 6 Goswamis, Rupan Sanatan, Raghunath, Jeev Goswami, Gopal Bhatta, Raghunath Bhatta. But specifically, we are known as Rupanuga Vaishnavas. And so we are studying this book presented by Rupa Goswami. So we'll tell what to do. As explained, it's 64 angas of devotional service. So which has been described here and which we are discussing. And so Vidhi has been given, things to do, and Nisheth, things not to do. And then the various limbs of devotional service which are there, 64 in numbers. And Navavida Bhakti has been included. Shavanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Parasevanam Achanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmani Vedanam. So we hear from the Spiritual Master, and then what we have heard that we may tell others. Or we hear the Maha Mantra and then we chant the Maha Mantra. And then as a result of that, by hearing and speaking or chanting the Maha Mantra, then Vishnu Smaranam or Krishna Smaranam, then we may be able to remember Krishna to some extent. But it will take time to be absorbed in Krishna. And then Parasevanam, serving the lotus feet of the Lord. And Archanam, serving the deities, so which is very important. And more than half of the 64 limbs are referring to deity worship. And then Vandanam, offering prayers. So that has been explained also here. So separately Navavida Bhakti is listed, but then also other so limbs of devotional service, specifically in regards to deity worship, have been explained, like the last few verses. In this way we can understand the importance of worshipping the deities. And so Vandanam, offering prayers to whom? To the deities, to Krishna, to the Supreme Lord. And so we understand the Yacha Vigraha. Krishna Balarama, no different from Krishna Balarama in Golok. Radha Shama Sundar, no different from Ramarudya Shama Sundar in Golok or in the heart. Or while chanting the holy names, you should understand Radha Krishna should be present, Radha Krishna there. Krishna Nama no different. And so we may offer prayers, we should offer prayers, we must offer prayers every day. So we should learn and recite. And the more the better, but according to one's qualification. So Krishna is seeing also. If we have more capacity, we can do more. If we have lesser capacity, we do less. But we should do as much as possible. Just like when Hanuman and other monkeys, they were making a bridge for Ram to cross from Rameshwaram for South India to Lanka. And the big monkeys, Hanuman very strong, throwing big pieces of rocks, stones. And in this way, by the mercy of the Lord, by Sri Ram's power, they were floating. And then one small squirrel was there, and he was also wanting to help, and he put little pieces, little stone pieces, and Hanuman was just laughing at him. But then Ramchandra told him, well, your body is big, so you're throwing big stones. His body is small, so he's throwing small stones. But endeavor is the same, so don't be puffed up. So we can always learn from the pastimes of the Lord. So, so we try our best to serve, or offering prayers. So at least a few prayers we should know. In glorification of the Supreme Lord. Hey Krishna, Karuna, Sindhu, Dino, Bandho, Jagatpade, Gopesha, Gopikanta, Radha, Kanta, Namastute. Tapta Kanchana, Gaurangi, Radhe, Vrindavaneshwari. Brijabhanu, Sudhe, Devi, Prana, Mami, Hari, Priya. And that will be accepted by Krishna. And if you can do more, it's according to our capacity. So that is wonderful. But the main thing is our endeavor, our sincere endeavor, our loving sentiments. So the more we engage, the more we can do with devotion. And then it is more relishable for Krishna. And there's more reciprocation. And we can advance further. And always you should be in the mood of Dasyan. I'm the servant of Krishna. And not only that, but Gopi Bhattu Parkamaro, Das, Das, and Das. I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. So in all humility, we should perform devotional service. Always, this is Sambandha Gyan. I'm the servant of Krishna. With this mood I'm chanting. With this mood I'm serving the deities. I'm studying. And then trying to help others, serve it. Trying to serve Hari Guru Vaishnav. And chant the holy names in this mood. Begging for service. Trying to serve the divine couple. And then Nam Ruchi Vaishnav Seva, serving the Vaishnavas when we have some taste. In the serving mood, chanting the holy names. And then serving the Vaishnavas. And then Jiva Dvaya, trying to help the devotees. Or the junior devotees, or those who are not yet in Krishna consciousness. And then it is possible, Sakyam, to have a very intimate relationship with Krishna, and then we can fully surrender. So the process is there, and so we just have to be conscious and try to do everything conscientiously and try to avoid offenses and inattention while doing the service, while chanting, and pray that we can do with purity, Priti Purvak, with some loving sentiments, and then it will be more acceptable to Krishna. He will relish more, and then there's more reciprocation. So, and the most important limbs have also been explained. And then here, so in detail, the different verses are there. So it was explained about when we worship the deities, then garlands are offered to the deities, flowers, and we may smell the prasads. And so that is there, the Supreme Lord is very merciful. And when we're serving, so there's a reciprocation, and then we will be rewarded for our service. But the devotee is not expecting anything. Amyabilashita sunyam gyana karmana vritam anukulini Krishna nushiranam bhakti ruttamam. That is Uttam Bhakti, doing everything for Krishna's satisfaction, as Krishna desires. I'm not expecting anything in return. But then, when Krishna is seeing our endeavor and our mood, so selfless service, then he will be so pleased that we will feel so much transcendental pleasure. And well, for example, we're doing Artik to the Lord. That has been explained also here. Artik darshanam yathas kande kotaya brahmahatyayam agam yagama kotaya. The face of Vishnu lit by the light from the Artik lamp burns up 10 millions of sins. So that we have already discussed, but still, we just sometimes it's good to repeat that. And so we may properly understand. So just by doing Artik to the Lord, so much benefit is there. We offer incense. And it is mentioned here, just seeing the Artik that is explained. The Pujari is doing the Artik, and sometimes the devotees feel, oh, I would like to do Artik also. That is nice, fine. But if 100 devotees are there, So, but only one devotee can do Atik. But still it is mentioned that those who are taking darshan while Atik is going on, they're getting the same benefit as the pujari who is doing Atik. Of course, provided the proper consciousness is there. And of course, even the pujari, so you must have the proper consciousness and properly following sadhana bhakti and doing devotionally. And then, but those who are seeing the Atik simply, they will get benefit. Krishna will be pleased. Oh, he has come to do the Atik. Oh, he has come to see the Atik. And they all benefited. And then, so offering incense to Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. But then when the incense is offered, then devotees are also able to smell the very nice fragrance. And because it is offered to Krishna, it is more fragrant. It will be more pleasing. It is purifying. Whereas sometimes people, they also buy incense and they are not devotees, they light an incense, nice smell. But they are not getting purified in consciousness. If it is not. So, and then it is sense purification. Nice smell, and he's pleased. Oh, nice smell. And so this is sense purification. Of course, it may be seen in the mode of goodness, if one is sattvic. But what is the use ultimately? But we have the human form of life, it is there for making advancement in spirit life, it is there to become perfect in realizing ourselves. So therefore we do for Krishna's pleasure. And then, so Krishna will be satisfied when we do Atik, when we see the Atik, and we are benefited, we are blessed, and we are feeling transcendental pleasure when you're serving Krishna. Offering incense, nice smell is there. Offering the ghee lamp, then we can see the deities nicely. And then actually, by lighting the incense, the ignorance in the heart is removed. And then, so when the pujari is showing to the devotees, or sometimes the ghee lamp is being brought out, and the devotees are taking the blessing of the ghee lamp offered to the Lord. So in this way there's constant purification going on, which is absolutely required. And the point is that actually, so we have to be constantly engaged in devotional service. And just one moment of inattention, or if we don't look towards Krishna, don't think about Krishna, but look towards material things, then the purification stops immediately for the time being. And then actually it is just like, for example, you have a room and you're sweeping the floor. So, but then as the day goes by, again dust is accumulated, so we have to keep on sweeping. Therefore the temple you sweep every day. After each Artik, 5, 6, 7 times sweeping is going on, so the place is really clean. So we have to constantly be engaged in devotional service, then the heart is purified. Otherwise dust is coming again in, impurities are coming in. So if the senses are going to the sense objects which are not related to Krishna, then one becomes attracted to that, and it is a kind, so then the dust is coming in. So, and so then we have to be so conscious of that and careful. But it is almost unavoidable in the conditioned state, that some attraction is there to material things. And then, so, but we just have to go on with purifying our existence by engaging in devotional service. And so in this way, the purification is continuously going on up to the stage of asakti, bhav, when one is completely attached to Krishna. and free from the modes of material nature. So that is a liberated state, but it takes time. So all the items are there offered to the Lord, and then we get the prasad, the flowers, the garlands, and we smell, we can touch, we can wear the garland, and we can feel immediately the Lord's mercy. So the different elements are there of this material world, gross and subtle. And so the jiva is amidst these 24 elements which is described in the scriptures, also Bhagavad Gita also, or Srimad Bhagavatam. So the ahankar, false ego, the material intelligence, material mind, the subtle body, and then the gross body is there. Earth, water, air, fire, ether, and then the 5 working senses, eyes, and the 5 knowledge inquiring senses, eyes, ears, the tongue, and the touch, and the smell, by which we can actually acquire some knowledge. Of course, it should be ultimately, it is for this material world, but then especially should be engaged in the service of the Lord, or acquiring spiritual knowledge by seeing the deity, by hearing about Krishna, hearing about the process of devotional service, by smelling the flowers offered to the Lord, by chanting the holy names, tasting Krishna prasadam, by touching the deity, lotus feet for the pujari, or embracing the Vaishnavas. So in this way, so purification is there, one is acquiring knowledge, especially by hearing, but even just by the tongue, by tasting Krishna prasadam, and by chanting the holy names, which is most important. But then the working senses are there also to be engaged in devotional service. The hands, the legs, so cooking for the Lord, cleaning the temple, serving the deities with the hands. So these are required. And then the sense objects are there. Form, sound, and so on. And so the sense objects are going to, the senses are going to the sense objects. So, but we have to see the transcendental forms. We have to hear transcendental sound. But then we have to, of course, the sounds of these worlds and the forms of these worlds are there also. And that has to be dovetailed in devotional service. And we have to see, ultimately everything is connected to Krishna, whatever it may be. So we have to use our intelligence. And we have to pray that we may be able to dovetail in devotional service, that we have to see, to try to see Krishna everywhere and see everything connected to Krishna. So constant practice has to be there. And constant endeavor has to be there. A constant praying for the mercy of the Lord. So that is absolutely required. Constant endeavor, but constantly also praying for the mercy of the Lord. That is absolutely required. So the process of devotional service is actually joyfully performed. And because Krishna is in the center. But due to modes of material nature, sometimes one will feel, even while chanting, while serving, one will feel not happy because of the modes of material nature. But we have to understand that ultimately all the emotions, they're there in the spiritual realm also. So here we just have to keep Krishna in the center. And even if some sadness may be there, some unhappiness may be there, which may be due to the modes of material nature, but we have to keep Krishna in the center. And then one becomes purified in existence, and then one can see everything related to Krishna. And then, so it becomes spiritual. Then the happiness is spiritually transcendental, and then the distress which may be there also, that is also spiritual, because that is there in the spiritual world. Everything is there originally in the spiritual world, and in the material world everything is a perverted reflection of the spiritual realm. So that is sadhana bhakti, engaging everything in the service of the Lord, following rules and regulations. So body, mind and words engage in the service of the Lord, being regulated every day, following the rules and regulations. And knowing what is the goal, and trying to reach the goal. So in order to reach the goal, so that of course has been indicated, and it will be explained also further on, then so one is not simply externally engaged in the service of the Lord, but then one will also try to have the consciousness, the proper consciousness first of all, has to be there as sadhaka, practicing devotee. I'm serving the Supreme Lord, I should try to do everything purely, not expecting anything in return. But then one has to go further on, and that is the second part of devotional service in regards to attaining Golok, Vrindavan, in regards to attaining Krishna. That is the spontaneous platform, or the platform of trying to remember Krishna and Krishna's associates in Braj, and trying to imbibe the mood of the Brijvasis in regards to serving Krishna, how they are serving Krishna. So that has to be studied, in which mood they are serving Krishna, what is their consciousness. So that has to be learned. And that is indicated here, also in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, step by step. So after this sadhana bhakti, so that will be explained. And then going further on, then the different relationships are there with Krishna, as explained in the beginning. And that will be explained also further on, when one is situated in purified consciousness, in Braj Bhav, trying to serve Krishna like the Brijavasis, and that is known Raganuga Bhakti. And ultimately we have to enter that realm. So it is a matter of the consciousness. So one devotee in the beginning, he may be initiated, he is serving the deities, or Krishna is Bhagavan. And so with some own reverence is there. But then later on, the devotee may be there and doing the same arti also, but his bhav is different. He's saying Krishna, Krishna is my prananath. Krishna is prananath of all the Brijvasis. Is the Lord and life of Madhya Yashoda. And in parental affection, she doesn't know that Krishna is God, and the gopis also. Krishna is my beloved. So then he will try to imbibe that mood of the Brijvasis and serve in this way, while doing the artik, while doing the dressing of the deities, or while cooking, or even while cleaning the temple. So actually by hearing about Krishna's pastimes in Braj with his associates, then that mood will slowly but surely come in our heart. And then with that mood we should then chant, with that mood we should serve and cook and do any kind of seva. So then we come to the next stage of Bhav Bhakti in purified consciousness, but it will take some time. First we have to adopt this mood. But at the same time we follow the rules and regulations, and we cannot just prematurely try to be always absorbed in that. But we should know that eventually we have to, and slowly but surely try to enter that mood, but slowly but surely. So that has to be understood. And and of course, so the very intimate relationship of the Brijavasi with Krishna, so that cannot be understood in the beginning, and so therefore also when we try to help others to come to devotional service, we don't immediately speak about the confidential mood of the Brijavasis with Krishna. So we have to see time, place and circumstances, and then we have to act accordingly, serve accordingly, try to advance accordingly. So so here the point was all that when we serve the deities, or we see the deities, and it should be done with devotion. And so in this way, then of course, and with faith also, that has been explained. And we should do it joyfully, the seva that is explained. Pujitam pujyamana vaya pashid bhakti tito harim sadaya modamana stu sopi yoga phalam labhet. Sadaya, with faith. Modamanas, so with blissful consciousness, with joy, joyfully should be performed. So, of course, when the modes of material nature are there, sometimes it is not so easy to be joyful, but we have to try our best, and we have to try to see that at least sometimes while chanting, while serving, we have the proper consciousness and we are not disturbed by kam, krodh, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, by lust, anger, greed, being bewildered or having some envious feelings towards others. So we have to, so the main thing is actually the consciousness, not just the external, that is also a point. We're externally serving, but the most important thing is actually the consciousness, the proper consciousness. So, and we are Satchidananda Swarup ultimately, spiritual beings with this loving consciousness towards Krishna, loving exchange with Krishna. So we have to practice to not do the things simply externally, but with the proper consciousness, with conscious, loving feeling towards Krishna for his pleasure, and then we will also feel so much transcendental pleasure. So it is a gradual process, and the progress is also very gradual, that we have to understand. But by constant practice and by mercy, then we can become perfect. Practice makes perfect, but it takes time. A lot of practice. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes, so one question is there, yes, so when we learn some prayers, so sometimes in the beginning, so we like a prayer, And then we do it joyfully on nice prayer, and we chant, Hey Krishna, Karuna, Sindhu, Dino, Bandho, Jagatpate, Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namastute. But then sometimes, or many times, then after doing that for many days, then sometimes actually one will not feel the joy. That is in the conditioned state. When one is under the modes of material nature, and when the mind is there, and the mind always wants something new. Okay, that verse was nice. But reciting every day, then the mind, well, maybe now we should have another verse. So that may be there, but we simply have to do it every day. And then we have to try to become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. We have to try to become free from the false ego, the material mind, and be situated on the transcendental plane of ourselves, Atma, Tattva. And so, yes, by practice and being fixed in transcendental knowledge, I am spirit soul, I have nothing to do with this material body, with this gross and subtle material body. So we have to be fixed in Sambandha Gyan, I am spirit soul. So therefore every day we should be conscious of that, and the pujaris, they will chant Bhuta Shuddhi. Or we should just remember, when we start chanting, I am not this material body, I am not spirit, I am not the subtle body, I am the spirit soul, I am the servant of Krishna. Let me chant purely. And so we have to constantly practice, and then when we do that, then we may become more free from the modes of material nature. So constant endeavor, constant practice has to be there. So to be properly situated on the spiritual platform, and so to say, we have to kind of try to push away this material existence, the modes of material nature, the material mind, material consciousness, the ego. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But I'm the insignificant servant of Krishna. So the false ego, false ego is most subtle, but usually we can see when the false ego is there. And this is the most subtle element, but at the same time the ego is very thick. So even the coverings of the universe are there. Each universe has a covering of the different elements, same as this body, exactly the same. First comes the layer of earth, then water, fire, air, ether. And each time it is most thick is the earth, that is one layer, and the layer of water is 10 times bigger, and it is more subtle. Fire is more subtle, 10 times bigger, like this. So the last is a false ego, which is most subtle, but it is the biggest covering. Similarly of our body also, so we have the gross body, which is there and we can perceive easily, but then the subtle body is there. We can understand the mind, the material intelligence, and the material ego. It is most subtle, but it is very times very thick. So we have to try to transcend. And so by daily chanting in happiness or in distress, then eventually the feelings will be there again. In the beginning will be there, and then after the mind is a kind of revolting. Well, I'm chanting every day. So why I should chant every day? And because of this kind of material mind and modes of material nature, then one may not appreciate. But if one is more free from modes of material nature, from the subtle material body, so in purified consciousness, then one can chant again this mantra very nicely, and one can feel pleasure every day. And then the more one is purified, the more devotion will be there, and then one can devotionally, one can chant these mantras, and then so much pleasure is there every day. So therefore we have to just continue patiently, enthusiastically, praying for the mercy, and then eventually we will come to a little higher stage of Nishta, Ruchi, Nam Ruchi, Seva Ruchi, and then pleasure is there every day. But still, most of material nature are there, and one has to really pray to be able to be above the modes of material nature and to be able to tolerate the difficulties which are there. First of all, from our own body and mind, and then from other difficulties which may be there. And so we have to practice also tolerance, humility, and respect. And then always chanting the holy names, and then it is just a matter of time, and then it will come. The taste will be there, ruchi, and then it is much easier, and then we can feel pleasure every day. And then one is looking forward to chant the holy names, one is looking forward to worship the deities and chant different mantras in glorification of the Lord. One will look forward to see the deities and offer some prayers. So it is just a matter of some time, so we have to be patient. And then one will feel some pleasure while doing it. But there's an intermediate state, so, and then it feels like a ritual. So that is due to anattas, the stage of anatta nivritti, the clearing stage. So we have to become free from the anattas, asat trishna, becoming attracted or having thirst for material things, asat, which is asat. And then hriday dorbalya, even we know we should not be attracted to material things, but the heart is weak, the determination is weak. Okay, today I will not watch anything on YouTube, but then, or something, and then, because it's just a matter of second, and then you see something, or sometimes you look for something, and then something else pops up, and then, oh, what is this? Okay, let me just see what is this. And then something else, and then half an hour is gone, 1 hour is gone. So it is very, very, so actually, the mobile is very useful, but it can be also dangerous, and you can be just driven away, and as a kind of Maya has entered the mobile phone also. So Krishna is there, but Maya is there too, so we have to be careful. A little inattention, and then one is drifted away. So, but one has to then bring back the mind and the consciousness to Krishna's lotus feet, to devotional activities. So that may be going on as long as we are not on the platform of ruchi. But even there one has to be careful, because Maya, the higher we go, the stronger is Maya. Like in the school, the students are going to school, the higher they go, the higher they know more, they can easily study and understand the things, but then the exams are even more difficult. So it is like this also in spiritual life. The higher you go, then the difficulties are there. And Maya is trying to pull down the advanced devotees also. So one always has to be careful, mindful. But the more you advance, then the more the bliss will be there. But we always have to be careful, because Maya is very strong. Hare Krishna.